Hello there, I'm going to show you how to make this very easy English paper piecing small pouch. It's quilted on the back, it's got my English paper piecing on the front, and also the tabs, as well as some pretty fabric on the inside. So let's see how to make this English paper piecing small pouch. And just to let you know, I have hundreds and hundreds of sewing tutorials on my channel, so don't forget to subscribe. Let's go through everything we're going to need for our English paper piecing pouch sewing tutorial. Now, this is a small pouch and it is 6 inches in height by 7 inches in width. And my English paper piecing pouch, you are going to need 2 sections for the internal. This is the internal section. And you need 2 pieces for your external section of your English paper piecing pouch. Also, we are going to need 2 pieces measuring at the same height and width for our batting. So I'm using some quilter's batting. I am going to use some pretty little trim that I had. My zipper isn't quite long enough, so I am going to be creating tabs for both ends to extend out this zipper. So I have 4 tab sections that match my English paper piecing sections, and these are 1 inch in width going this way, and in height is 2.5 inches. Then I have these coordinating parts of my English paper piecing, and I have 14 English paper piecing sections, and these hexagons are 1.5 inches. Take your external section, and I'm going to press it. It needs pressing a little bit. First of all, I'm going to line everything up. So I'm going to put one of my hexagons right here, right so these 2 points are meeting the seam of the small pouch. So that is my first hexagon part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave spaces in between, and I'm just going to audition all of my parts here to see how I like my English paper piecing to look. So this is what my English paper piecing is going to look like. So now I can take the sections off. I'm going to pin my first one into place. So I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to keep them in the rows as I take them off. So I'm going to take a pin, and I'm going to pin the trim into place. And then I'll come back and I'll pin that English paper piecing part into place also. I just want it so it's right on that seam. I use a Baby Lock Soprano for my sewing tutorials, and I am not paid nor sponsored to say that. These are the settings on my machine, and I'm also going to select my pivot key. I'll show you what that does in a second. I have a 9014 sewing needle in my Baby Lock Soprano, as well as a white bobbin thread. I'm just going to keep the regular J-foot on my Baby Lock Soprano. So I have the external fabric with my quilter's batting, and I'm just going to sew along in a straight stitch, attaching this trim down to my pouch. And I'm going to come back around, and I am going to sew this other side down. Now I'm going to come around and I'm going to sew this English paper piecing section into place, and I'm going to do that using a straight stitch. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my speed down on my sewing machine because I have a tendency of sewing really quickly. So once you come to the corner of that hexagon, I'm just going to pivot And did you see how this presser foot automatically raised up and I wasn't lifting at the back here? That's that pivot key. So every time I release my foot off the accelerator, this pivot key will come up, and every time I put my foot on the accelerator, it'll go back down again. So it gives you a lot more control when you're sewing. What machine do you use? Do you use a Baby Black Soprano or do you use a different machine? Let me know in the comment box down below. Now I have that first English paper piecing section in position. My next ones are going to be really easy because it's just about lining them all up. So I'm just going to sew around each of my paper piecing parts and just attach them to my small pouch. So I'm going to go on and do this row, attaching all of my English paper piecing sections. If we do have any sections that are overhanging, then we can cut them off. I'm going to turn it this way round, and any of these sections that I can see of the English paper piecing, then I'm just going to cut them off with my rotary cutter. Now with the other side of your pouch, you can do some free motion quilting or some straight line stitching. To attach these two sections together, you can spray baste, whatever you would like to do. So this is the front section of my English paper piecing pouch, and this is the reverse section of my English paper piecing pouch. Let's work on the zipper tabs for this pouch. What I'm going to do is cut off the end here. So I'm completely cutting that tab away, that metal tab there. Now what we're going to do with the tab sections is we're going to place one right sides down, and you're going to kind of sandwich these tabs within the zipper like so. And then what I do at the bottom here to keep it nice and straight is just get a clip them two ends into place so it doesn't move on you. And then what we're going to do is sew right across here. Once them two strips are sewn into place, then you're going to pull them back like so, and then you're going to go and do a top stitch all the way down, securing these two sections. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, but we're going to pull this zipper back before we attempt to cut anything. Just pinch in that zipper, and you can do this with a rotary cutter. You can just go straight across, and I basically cut off them metal strips at the end, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring the zipper up. It's a little bit harder because the teeth are going to want to move away. So you put them right sides together and then hold them together with the clips once again. And once that is sewn down, you're going to do that again. You're just going to open these up, and then you're just going to top stitch. I like to have my tabs coming in at 1 inch. So there's 1 inch here, and I'm going to cut off the excess here. So I have 1 inch worth of tab. Now we're going to put together our English paper piecing pouch. So you're going to have your English paper piecing part facing up. You're going to have your zipper facing down. And then you're going to take your lining piece and have that facing down. Now you're going to grip or pin these all together, stitch all the way across the top of your English paper piecing pouch, stitching all 3 layers into place. Now we're going to open all of these parts up and fold it to the back. So your lining section will be touching this batting section. And you're going to have your English paper piecing section facing you. I'm going to close this up at this point, because what I'm going to do first is we are going to top stitch all the way along the English paper piecing pouch. we are now going to build the other side of our English paper piecing pouch. So we have the part with the English paper piecing on, and the other external section goes face down. And then I'm going to turn this whole thing over. And then we're going to take our lining section and place that on top like so. Take this back to the sewing machine and stitch all 3 parts of your English paper piecing pouch together. Now we're going to open everything up. And then I'm going to flip it. So now you have this. These are the external sections. And this is the internal section of your English paper piecing pouch. Now what I'm going to do is top stitch all the way down here. This is an important step. Open up your English paper piecing pouch zipper. Make sure this is open. And then what we're going to do is join the 2 external sections. So these 2 external sections are going to join up like so. And I'm going to clip. And then on this side here, you're going to join the 2 internal sections. Now with the tape, the zipper tape, it's going to naturally go one way and allow it to go the way it wants to go. So mine is pointing towards the lining and yours should be pointed towards the lining too. This is one last reminder to make sure that a zipper is open, because at this stage you might ruin your whole project if it isn't. So make sure the zipper is open. Now, in the lining section, you are going to leave at least a 2-inch, 2.5-inch opening at the bottom. So I recommend that you start here and you sew all the way around your English paper piecing pouch. And then you're going to come back to this end and stop. Don't start in a corner because it's very hard to make them clean and tidy. Always sew your corners shut. So you've sewed all the way around and you now have an opening that's in your lining. You also will want to cut away some of this excess. So you want to cut close to but not on the stitches, and also take away some of this little bulk here by the zipper. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pull everything right sides through the zipper opening, and that's why it's important to keep that zipper open. So you're going to push everything through. You might want to take a point turner and just ease them corners through. And also where that zipper tape is, just help to ease that through too. Take a moment to check that all your seams are closed, because you can correct that at this point. And then if they are, you can then sew the lining down. This is the lining here, so you're just going to press that down and then you're going to sew that closed. If you're enjoying this video, I have hundreds and hundreds more like it, so don't forget to subscribe. Once that is sewn into place, you can push the lining back down into the pouch. I also gave the pouch another quick press. So what do you think of this English paper piecing small pouch? So I've got some detail on the back, I've got the English paper piecing on the front, and the cute little lining on the inside. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.